They called him a coward for following orders. They said he lacked courage. They said he failed his men. They said he wasn't fit to lead in combat. But war doesn't judge men by rumors. It judges them by consequences. What they didn't know was that the order itself was illegal, and the man who gave it was counting on someone else to carry the blame in silence. Before this story continues, take a moment. If you believe courage isn't always loud, if you know that sometimes doing the right thing means standing alone, if you understand that silence can be heavier than gunfire, subscribe to this channel. These are not stories about medals or speeches. They are stories about soldiers who paid for truth with their careers. This is the story of Sergeant First Class Matthew Ryan Holloway. Matthew Ryan Holloway was 38 years old, 15 years in the United States Army Infantry. Rank, Sergeant First Class, E7. He stood 5'11", solid build, the kind shaped by ruck marches and repetition. His hands were rough, permanently calloused. A faint limp followed him after long days, a reminder of an airborne jump that never went right. His face rarely showed emotion, not because he didn't feel, but because he learned early that leaders absorb fear so others don't have to. Among the soldiers, Holloway had a reputation, not fearless, reliable. Matthew enlisted at 22 days after burying his mother. Cancer took her slowly, helplessly. The Army felt like the opposite of that helplessness. Clear rules, clear chains of command, clear definitions of right and wrong. He wasn't running toward war. He was running away from chaos. For years, the uniform gave him identity, purpose, and the belief that obedience was the same as honor. That belief would not survive his final deployment. The briefing room was quiet, too quiet. Maps on the wall, coordinates circled in red. Captain Andrew Keller spoke with confidence, too much confidence. "Clear the compound," Keller said. "No detainees." Holloway felt the tension instantly. No detainees wasn't tactical language, it wasn't ambiguous. It was final. Holloway asked the question carefully. "Sir, confirm ROE?" Keller didn't hesitate. "That's the order, Sergeant." Inside the compound were men with empty hands. No rifles, no radios, no resistance. One woman stood near the back wall shaking. Every soldier looked at Holloway. They weren't afraid of the enemy. They were afraid of the decision. Disobeying an officer could destroy a career. Obeying could destroy a conscience. Holloway made his choice. "My squad holds," he said. "I'll take responsibility." He stepped forward alone. Seconds later, gunfire erupted from outside the compound. The aftermath was rushed. Bodies removed, weapons planted, statements guided. Captain Keller controlled the narrative. The report blamed hesitation. It blamed confusion. It blamed Holloway. No mention of civilians. No mention of unlawful language. The phrase, "no detainees," disappeared. And with it, the truth. Holloway was reassigned without explanation. No formation, no announcement, just a quiet removal from leadership. Soldiers stopped asking him questions, stopped laughing around him. Some were cruel. "Guess courage isn't your thing, huh?" He froze. The word stuck. Coward. Holloway absorbed it all, because defending himself would expose others, and he would not do that. He kept training. Morning runs, weapons maintenance, endless repetition. But inside something fractured. Sleep came in fragments. Dreams ended in sweat. He avoided the mess hall, avoided conversation. The silence wasn't peace, it was punishment. Months later, Holloway wrote a letter. Hand steady, mind exhausted. "I followed an unlawful order to shield my soldiers from consequences. I did not fire. I did not allow them to fire. If responsibility must be carried, let it be mine. Truth matters more than rank." He read it twice, then sealed it. Then, before the letter was processed, another mission came down. High risk, minimal intel. Captain Keller placed Holloway in rear security, out of sight, out of influence. Then the ambush hit. Pinned squads, broken comms, and Keller's voice came through the radio. Panicked, Holloway moved without orders. Under fire, Holloway took control. Clear commands, measured movement. He dragged wounded men to safety, called in support, stabilized the line. No hesitation, no fear, just competence. When it ended, Every soldier was alive, including Keller. The letter reached command days later. Then the recording surfaced. Audio logs, helmet cam footage. The words, "No detainees," echoed clearly. Witnesses spoke freely. The truth gained weight. Captain Keller was relieved. Then, detained. Charges followed quickly. Unlawful orders, falsified reports, war crimes. Holloway's record was corrected. Quietly. No apology. No ceremony. Just an administrative note restoring his name. That was all the Army offered. Holloway retired early. On his final day, a private approached him. "They were wrong about you," the soldier said. "I hope I'd make the same choice." Holloway paused. "So do I," he replied. They called him a coward for following orders. But courage isn't obedience without thought. It's knowing when an order crosses a line. If this story stayed with you, like this video, subscribe and share it. Because the truth survives only when someone is willing to stand alone long enough for it to catch up.